Dr. Lake, do we have any changes to the agenda?
We do not.
Do I have a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
So moved.
A motion by Andy.
Second.
And a second by Megan. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, motion passes 5-0. Please stand if you're able for our Pledge of Allegiance. All right, for our special recognition portion of tonight's meeting, we have Central Office Support Center recognition, and I believe Scott Barbagallo is going to come up and present the recognition.
So it is my pleasure to recognize Mike Gillum as our support staff person of the year for 2025, 2026. As our electrician, Mike plays a vital role in keeping our school safe, running smoothly. He is a dependable, hardworking, and always willing to help whenever needed. Whether responding to an urgent issue or working on a planned project, Mike takes pride in doing the job right. His dedication, positive attitude, and commitment to our district make him a valued member of our team. We are grateful for everything he does behind the scenes to support our students, staff, and schools. Please join me in congratulating Mike, our support staff person of the year.
So, Mike and I.
Okay. Moving on to our student representative report. There are no learning reports over the summer, so we'll turn it over to Stella Pellerito for the student representative report.
Hi, good to see you guys. Sorry, I have a mint in my mouth, so if I sound rude, it's because of that. I didn't make a report because I was on my trip, so I'm gonna share a little bit about that and the French trip. So I just wanted to say I think it's incredible how Lindbergh can provide these experiences for us students to travel out of the country. I think that's just beyond words. We went to Costa Rica with the Spanish class. It seriously was the best week of my life. Like, we had so much fun. Up till 2 a.m, just hanging out with everyone, laughing with the teachers. Yeah, it was incredible. My friend went on the Paris trip. She went to 3 different cities, 3 different parts of Europe. I can't name them, but they went everywhere. And I saw her pictures today, and she was like, this is breathtaking, and it's changed my life forever. So I think it's just a great opportunity for students that we can do that here, and that's just a wonderful part of Lindbergh, and that we can provide that for the students. And we didn't meet with any schools this month, so I'm looking forward to August to see some students from the elementary and middle schools. Thank you.
Thank you, Stella. At this time, if you came for just the special recognitions for this evening, you are welcome to leave. You don't have to stay for the whole board meeting, so feel free. You can step out. You're welcome to leave. Although, if you want to stay, you're welcome to stay as well.
Yeah.
No judgment.
Run.
No judgment here.
See you guys.
Congratulations. Thank you. Okay, moving on to consent resolutions. We do have a resolution this evening honoring the 2026 graduating class of Lindbergh High School. Do I have a motion to approve the resolution as presented?
So moved.
Second by,
Second.
motion by Andy, second by Rachel. All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right, motion passes 5-0. We do not have any citizen communications for tonight, so we will move on to communications. Our secretary is absent this evening, so I will turn it over to our vice president, Ms. Fetter, for announcements, calendar of events, and upcoming board agendas.
Great, thank you. Announcements for tonight. We're excited to welcome new members to the Communications, Finance, Facilities, Student Life, Teaching and Learning, and Technology Board Advisories. These committees allow board members to seek input and advice from community members, promoting widespread involvement on issues affecting our district. Applications have been sent out, and they are open through June 30th. For calendar of events, June 19th, offices are closed in observation of Juneteenth. June 26th, the offices are closed for summer hours. June 30th is a special Board of Education meeting at 9 a.m. here at Central Office. July 3rd, offices are closed. July 9th is the Impact Life Lindbergh Central Office Blood Drive that will be held here from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. July 10th, the offices are closed for summer hours again, and then July 16th, we are here for our Board of Education workshop at 4 p.m., and then our regular Board of Education meeting at 6:30 p.m. The upcoming board agendas, on June 30th, we'll hold a special meeting to adopt the 2026-2027 budget, and our next regular meeting and workshop is scheduled for July 16th. The workshop topics include Student Growth and Achievement Report, and then our tentative board agenda items include Gifted Education Program Evaluation, Designation of Education and Foster Care Liaison, Homeless Care Coordinator, Compliance Officer, and Safety and Security Coordinator. We will also be looking at adult meal prices, transportation program evaluation, the readoption of board policy BBFA.
All right, thank you. Moving on to report of meetings, does any board member have any meetings they would like to report on?
Sure, I'll go first. I want to thank the board for allowing me to represent us at our recent Missouri School Boards Association Summer Summit. I just came back this afternoon. A little personal note, when I was there, I was recognized along with many other school board members across the state for having earned my advanced board member certification and my master level board member certification. So I read some pretty cool books and did some other things, of course, that were part of the application process, but grateful to be able to go there for that purpose. They also had some outstanding programming. I also represented us as the delegate and voted for us in the officer elections. Riley Hartwell from Joplin Schools is the next president-elect, and Keisha Lee from Ladue started her term as now the current president. So the legislative update was very informative. Those of you who, pardon me, who watched, I think it was last month's board meeting when Julia gave us a really good summary of what was going on in the Capitol and what we might expect coming. Also, Dr. Sparks spoke about the proposed A through F rankings at that meeting, I believe. So there was programming on that as well. I remember Julia distinctly saying that that what our hope was, public schools' hope in Missouri was at the time, that the plan that the legislature was trying to advance for the A through F ranking be the one that would be put into law. And unfortunately, they ran out of time, and so that did not happen. And what then does still stand is the executive order from the governor, and that was what Julia had mentioned would be sort of the worst case scenario. So there was a whole program dedicated to that I went to at Summer Summit. I will share more things that I learned next month, but the main thing I'd say that I took away and that's timely from that program is that the executive order, when it was made, there were dates. You know, by this date, you will receive your grade. By this date, it has to be published on your website in, I forget the exact words an easily found location on your website, something like that. But none of the dates had years after them. And so there is some concern, there's hope that it will be September 2027 is when this will be implemented, but there is some concern that they could push for an emergency regulation process and have that actually be something that would happen this year. So if that does happen, I'm sure we will be notified through MSBA, and then they encouraged us to decide if we want to go and testify as part of the process of creating the regulations around that. So let's see what else. Oh, I also attended a program on, it was called Where Is Your Money Going? And Linda Quinley, who heads the finance work for MSBA, outstanding program. She looked over the last 6 years at the revenue increases, but then also how our statewide, for looking at all of the school districts as a whole, how our expenses have increased. Audits, apparently the cost of doing an audit over the last 6 years has gone up 43%. Crazy. So, not crazy, worth it, wonderful. We need to have very good ones, but just in terms of, okay, fine, I know I stick my foot in my mouth a lot. Okay, what she showed us is how we could sit down and look at our own specific data for our school district to see how ours has gone up in terms of revenue over the last 6 years. And that might be something that I might like to take a look at that we could share with the community too. And then my last program was on free expression rights in schools for students, educators, and board members. And I'm hoping that the attorney from MSBA that did that puts on a similar program in the fall. That was also really informative. So grateful that our district is a member. I think they're doing really good work advocating for public schools and gave us a lot more specific information that we can take out to the community ourselves to let the community know what is happening and what the implications are going to be to our districts if we don't start paying closer attention and speaking up. So, all right, thank you.
I attended the SSD Governing Council meeting earlier this month, which was a big meeting for them because it was to adopt and approve the next year's budget. So just as a reminder, first it goes to SSD's Board of Education, they approve it, and then it comes to Governing Council and needs approval from Governing Council to go into effect. It was a very busy meeting. It was standing room only, a lot of teachers there. Obviously, because it was it was a hard time to talk about salary freezes. So just as a reminder that SSD proposed a salary freeze for teachers, all staff, all administrators for this coming year because of budget concerns. And we heard from some teachers in public comment. We heard from administrators as well. And I think for me, it was very clear that there wasn't, and I know I can speak for all of us here, that there isn't a single board member that stands on this board or is working with SSD that doesn't want to see more money going into teachers' pockets. Like, I know that I am very pro-teacher. I want our teachers to make money, whether they're in this district or in another district. And so it was difficult to be able to see that that was the case. And at the same time, as board members, we have a duty and an obligation to push forward a budget that hopefully will keep the school district going. And if you don't adopt the budget, then it just automatically goes to the previous year budget. So it was, for me, a decision of, well, no matter what I do, if I vote yes or no, the teacher's salary won't change, because if they go back to last year's budget, then they're still on the same salary schedule that they had the previous year, so the salary won't change. If we adopt a new budget, then it at least gives SSD the chance to try to do something different instead of working on a previous year's budget that was already broken. So the budget did pass. It was I want to say, there was only 4 no's. Yeah, 4 no's, 17 yeses. And it was just spoken about how this was just another kind of final chance for SSD to show that we need real changes. They talked about that they are prepared to do some short-term borrowing in the fall. This current budget is projected to run on about an $82 million deficit, which will bring their fund balance down to 20%. This year's fund balance was at a 33%, so it is rapidly declining. One thing to note is that they currently have 313.5 vacancies, but those are all budgeted into the current budget, so the hope is to continue to fill those so that they continue to put student need first. There was some conversation about an operating levy, because I think at this point, they don't have any other choice. They're gonna run out of money, and that's going to affect services. So it'll be interesting to kind of see how that plays out. So I'll keep you up to date on how that goes and how this current budget they continue to navigate it and how it continues to move forward. The other big part to note is that if you recall from our governing council meeting in March, we had Board of Education elections, and one of them was at a standstill. We couldn't agree. And so the way the policy reads is that we vote again in June and then go from there. We were still at an impasse, could not make a decision on the same two candidates. And so what happens now is that the current incumbent, their term extends through September. The application process reopens, and then we vote again in September to see if there are any other applicants that come in. Once we get to September, and if we are still at an impasse, I don't know what happens from there. I think that's something that hasn't happened before, so there needs some clarity on policy with that. So that's pretty much it. So again, like I hope that SSD can really find a way to create some changes. It's a very long, hard road ahead for them, for sure. And I am interested to see how the community is going to come out and either support or demand something different from that district.
I will call out that it's not just a hard road ahead for them. Under current legislation, we're all on that ship. We're all gonna go whatever path it goes. We don't have a choice. Right. So just something to consider as we watch what's happening there.
I agree with you. I will say that although legislation is impacting SSD, this is something that has been happening for years, that they are already impacted regardless of the legislation.
Right.
And so even if the legislative session was perfect and we were fully funded and all of these things, SSD would still be running a significant deficit in their budget.
Right.
And it's moving towards becoming a failing district, which is scary because the last thing that we want is for the state to take over this school district that supports our most highly needed students. That would be the worst thing for those students. So it's within, I think we all feel very strongly that we want students that are within SSD to be cared for, educated at the best way possible.
Highest standard. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Remind me, Megan, do they have like a 5-year plan or a 2-year plan?
Yeah, they do have a 5-year strategic plan, and they have been working this past year with a new organization that is helping them create a more transparent and fluid budget for future planning. Mm-hmm. So that is, I have it here if you ever want to look at it. But yeah, they do.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Anybody else? Okay, we'll move on to cabinet updates. We'll start with you, Beth.
The Communications Advisory did not meet in May,
Okay,
so I
thank
don't
you.
have a report.
Dominic, your turn.
Same with technology, we did not meet in May.
Joelle, did we work at all?
The Finance Committee always
Finance always
meets, and the
works.
Business Department is always here, June and July. We did meet, and we did have a lengthy meeting, because there's quite a few items under consent. And we talked about each one of them, so it was over an hour meeting. A lot of teaching and learning stuff on there, so I did decide we need to make sure there's a teaching and learning rep at our future meetings, because some of that stuff I don't know a lot about. Luckily, Julia was there, and she's on that committee, so we had our meeting, and it went well. Thanks.
Perfect. And I would be remiss if I didn't take an opportunity to say thank you for all your years of service to the district. You have a fan club in the back of the room right now. You are going to be missed, but I know that Mark is coming in, and he is very capable, but she has some big shoes to fill. She's a small woman, but big shoes, so good luck. Thank you, Joelle. Okay, moving on to action items by consent. Are there any consent agenda items anyone wishes to remove for individual consideration?
So I don't want to remove any items, but I'll be abstaining from the portion of the financial report that pertains to Ameren Electric due to conflict of interest. I consent to the remainder of the agenda.
Okay. I also need to remove myself from the HR portion of the report, personnel report pertaining to a classified new hire due to a potential conflict of interest. Does anybody else have any other declarations or anything? Okay, perfect. Are there any further, do I have a motion to approve the June 16, 2026 consent agenda as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion by Megan and a second by Christy. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion passes 5-0 with the record reflecting that Andy Lawson is abstaining from the portion of the financial report regarding Ameren Electric, and myself, Matt Alonso, is abstaining from the portion of the HR personnel report pertaining to classified new hires. We did have a donation this month, so we would like to thank Rhonda Maloney for her donation of the faux flowers and plants for the graduation stage, so thank you. There are no individual action items this evening, and there are no reports this evening. We have already conducted our closed session for closed business session, so therefore there's no need to return to a closed session, so I would like to move on to 13.0 adjournment. Do I have a motion to adjourn board meeting 1636?
So moved.
I have a motion by Andy,
Second.
a second by Rachel. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion passes 5-0. Board meeting 1636 is adjourned.